ish. And we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. It's the latest episode of the Sling'N podcast. I'm TJ.
And I'm Kent.
And joining us tonight, back in the hot seat, the glutton for punishment, our very own tactical elf, Tim Herron.
I'm back. Yay. Merry Christmas,
we
guys.
made it a full 19 seconds before we got a short joke in.
That's all right.
I love you, buddy.
We just had to get it out of the way right now.
Yeah, let's get it out of the way, right? Tim, how have you been, brother? Give the folks an update. Those that maybe don't know who you are yet, right? Go ahead, give everybody an introduction. Explain who the hell you are.
I'm Tim Herron. I own Tim Herron Shooting LLC. I'm a firearms instructor and shooting coach that gets to travel. I'm very fortunate, get to travel all over the country and teach people how to get mo better behind their pistols. So I've been a traveling trainer now since 2015. Been full time since 2018, and this finished out my. What is this? 2018, 19, 20, 21. So this is my end of my fourth full year doing this full time. So yeah, it's been an awesome ride.
Awesome, man. It's great stuff.
Yeah.
Everything else been going good though since the last time we saw you?
Everything is great. So I finished up my last class of the year last weekend or weekend before last in Temple, Texas. I was hosted by Matt Little of Graybeard Actual there in Temple, Texas at Temple Gun Club, and finished off the year with a fantastic 2-day course. And had a great time. Came back home. I've been home about a week and a half or so. Got a couple more weeks at home before I'm back on the road for 2023 to kick things off in Southern California, the second or third week in January. So.
Where does Little have his own place or?
Awesome, dude.
No, Little is so Matt moved originally from Chicago. So he's retired Chicago PD, Chicago SWAT, and was kind of like on the payroll with Staccato STI down in Florence, Texas, up till I think early this year or whatever. But he and his wife had determined, I guess they'd finally decided they'd had enough of Illinois. And I think they moved down. I think they've been down there 2 years or maybe 3 years now in Gerald, Texas, which is, man, it's beautiful. Got a great little house, a great neighborhood and stuff. It's all kind of that same area. It's kind of funny. There's like a lot of the Texas 2011 folks that all live in that area and stuff there too. Like Staccato's just down the road and all kinds of cool stuff. But no, he primarily trains and stuff out of Temple Gun Club, which is, I think, his local gun club about 30 minutes or so away from him. But and then Matt, of course, also travels all over the country and teaches classes and stuff too. So it was a good end of the year, especially considering how cold it's been here. Even though I live, most people think, New Mexico in the desert, oh man, no, I'm in high desert. It's like 6,300 feet above sea level. It's been 0 to 5 degrees, during the night and early morning hours. And then kind of peak day hours. It has been pretty warm. It's been in the mid to upper 20s, I think it was mid 30s today, actually. So.
Yeah, that was something I remember from when I was in Arizona.
Yeah,
out in Sierra Vista. It's down in the valley, a little bit closer to sea level. I mean, as close as you can get to that area. If Walmart were a city, by the way, let me just say that. But there were guys that I was stationed there with that were local, from the Flagstaff area, so that 7,000 plus feet.
Right.
Area, and they were like, "Oh yeah, man, we are practically Inuit, like igloos and all that shit. Like it gets cold." Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it is. By the way, it is a record 7 degrees here right now in Tennessee. It is the coldest. Yeah. It is the coldest it's been in 25 years. So just be forewarned. In the event that I lose power, because Tennessee Valley Authority and all of their wisdom actually posted that they were considering doing rolling blackouts for 10 to 15-minute intervals to help ease the strain on the power grid. And then everyone was like, what the hell are you thinking, you idiots? But just in case that does happen, Kent is fully prepared to take over while I make alternative, take alternative measures to get back on the podcast.
Put the hamster back on the wheel.
Yeah, man. Dude, I can't wait to see my energy bill next month. Oh, Jesus. Let it be a Christmas miracle that it's less than $500. My HVAC is just out there going, help. So, yeah, good times. Good times. Kent, what's new with you, buddy?
I love how you people think it's cold. Y'all motherfuckers have no goddamn idea. I defended those Green Mountains for years. Perfectly successfully. Motherfucker never got above 0 for 3 weeks in a row sometimes. Get out of here. Get out of here. In the broad ass daylight, noon of the day, it was 0. I was like, shit, I might take my third jacket off. That's why I got so fat. Y'all thought I was depressed and drinking too much. It was the goddamn cold. I was just trying not to have to buy too much North Face. Fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Just taking a page out of the Russians' book. That's why everyone stayed liquored up.
That's
also, they realized that alcohol was the number one cure for assholes going, cold enough for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. We had a snow apocalypse here in South Central Pennsylvania. There were 4 inches of snow on the ground. The fucking world ended, bro.
Oh,
I mean, people just a coworker and I went out and did some moderate man level shit and went out and actually did some work. God forbid, drive around in work trucks, slide around, having a good old time. Everybody else is like, we're all gonna die. It's crazy. It's nonsense.
Well, we got to see some dude in a Jeep. We got to see a dude in a Jeep Cherokee play highway pinball this morning.
Oh, that's cool.
So that was fun. Yeah, completely. Everyone else is slowing down. This dude's like, nah, fuck it, YOLO, I got this. 4x4, right?
4-wheel drive, baby.
He gets past us. Yeah, it means nothing on ice, by the way. For those playing the home game, gets past us, loses control, hits the car, 2 cars ahead of us, bounces into a second, and then hits a third, and then all 4 cars all 4 cars end up coming to a stop. Luckily enough, it was a low enough speed. Nobody appeared injured. Definitely pissed off.
Yeah.
2 days before Christmas, and on I-65. Yeah. Oh, they were pissed. But no, because it was an interesting learning experience, right? Just kind of getting a little bit more serious here, because I've been putting my son through CPR, first aid, and AED training it's the Red Cross class. So it's first aid, CPR, AED for infants, children, and adults. He has to do that portion online first before he can go do the in-person training and actually have the bleeding and the CPR dummies and stuff. But we actually use this opportunity to have a conversation because obviously my wife sitting next to me was like, hey, are we going to stop? I said, hell no. One, nobody flipped. These were all fender benders, right? There was no impact that made me think, oh God, that person's fucked. Right. But also you have to take into account the totality of the situation. I've got my wife, my 2 kids in the car. We're on one of the busiest highways in the nation. Of course, I don't know too many interstates that aren't the busiest in the nation. And there's other cars behind us. I could easily pull over, but with my luck, I would have gotten clipped by another vehicle. One of those other vehicles, somebody would have hit that other vehicle while I was trying to render aid to somebody. Or worst case, I dismount to go help those people, and then somebody clips my car with my family in it. Right. So you got to let the situation dictate what your response is going to be. So guys, take that into account. We talk a lot about medical here, talking about being a responsible self-defender, a defender of others. But there are some things that just aren't worth putting yourself in the risk. Sometimes it's just a shitty day for other people.
I don't know what it is, man. It's that time of year. James choked the other night.
Oh.
No shit, choked. And I just did.
Yeah, that was a fun text message to receive, by the way. Thanks for the heart attack.
Hey, he's got a bruise between his shoulder blades, but he's also breathing. The inertia strike thing works great. Like that happened. We had a dude, one of our dudes at work pulled a little girl out of a flipped SUV with a pipe wrench. I'm pretty sure you used the pipe wrench to break the back window. I got to figure. I said, I texted him. I was like, "How'd you get her out?" He goes, "Pipe wrench." I'm like, okay. So we smashed the window to get a little kid out of a flipped over car. What else was I gonna? Oh, and I got kind of sort of panhandler, almost mugged at his sheets today.
Also, a fun conversation to be part of.
Was that yesterday? Was that yesterday, TJ?
Yeah, that was yesterday morning.
Yeah, we were on the phone. My bad. Yeah, my man picked, of all the freaking dudes on the planet, my man beelines it to me with his hands in his jacket pocket and like does the peekaboo, like I'm pumping gas, and next thing I know, he's like this close to my face. I made a whole ass scene in the parking lot of that sheet screaming at that dude. I literally screamed him away. I didn't pepper spray him. I did nothing. I just gave him my Kent stop yell from the range. Except,
oh man, that's mean.
Stranger danger, I need an adult. Stranger danger, I need an adult.
I did my holler. I swear to God, the snow slid off the roof of the sheets when I yelled. He was not ready for that. He was like, "What is going on?" I don't know what it is with people. I think people are just losing their minds at the holidays, honestly. What about you?
Yeah,
but
I
Tim,
think that's a big part of it.
Like, Timmy, the closest people for you are like miles, right? You don't have to people very much, do you?
I've not left the house all week this week, which has been, been pretty nice. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm 15 minutes or so away from like the gas station, right? I mean, just my local little hometown is Moriarty, New Mexico, which is about 12 and a half, 13 miles or so south of me. And then it's a 45-minute drive into Albuquerque. So, yeah.
Right.
I'm
super jealous, by the way. I saw you hosted your first match at your house.
I did. Yeah, I did did an invite. Well, I didn't want to. I wanted to host a full, full match, like a citywide, like have everybody that generally comes to the club matches in Albuquerque out here. But I didn't want to have so many people. Not that I think like, oh my God, everybody would have came out of the woodwork. But at the same time, like I didn't want it to be unmanageable for my very first match and me not like logistically not be able to get everybody like in and out, or through the match. So I was like, man, you know what? I got 3 bays. And it's funny thing was like, I kind of came up with the idea like the Friday before we did the match on that Sunday. So there was a local match at the city range on Saturday. So on Friday, I was like, man, I'm going to go out to my range. I'm going to do a little practice. Maybe I'll set up a mock stage or something, and I'll just have a good old time. And as I'm setting up something, like my phone starts buzzing, and a couple of the guys that I shoot with when I'm home and get to shoot club matches were messaging me. We're like, hey man, are you going to come out? You're going to be out tomorrow at the city range, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I just happen to be doing this right now. And I, kind of take a selfie of me, like, setting up walls and stuff. And they were like, oh my God, are you going to have a match out at your place? And I was like, well, no, that like I was just going to practice. Hang on a minute. This could be kind of fun. So yeah, I never even pulled the gun out of the bag on Friday and shot at all at home. I spent the entire day thinking like, man, I should have, it'd be cool to like invite 10, 11 people out and do like a 5-stage or 6-stage match on my 3 bays. And then like have everybody stay behind, like everybody stay and help me like clean up and things. And then we'll do like a barbecue. Right. So I threw burgers on the grill and brats and dude, everybody stayed from the beginning to end. So I had invited 5 or 6 on, like over the phone on Friday evening. And I'd spent all day putting stages together. And then on Saturday, I went and shot the local match. And I had 4 or 5 other guys that were on our squad that didn't know about it yet that I also invited. And once we had 10 or so, everybody came out at like 9 o'clock on Sunday morning. And then we shot another match out at the house and had a good time. We grilled, smoked cigars, drank some bourbon, and everybody was, up and out and gone then by about 5 o'clock that evening. It was a good time. And it gave me an opportunity. It gave me an opportunity to kind of feel like how putting a match together would be at home And if it's something that could be a viable alternative, or an extra match that we could possibly do, once a month out here. But with my travel schedule, I can't very well host the matches. I mean, I could host them and I could set the stages up and everything, but I need somebody else to kind of be like the match director, like the day of the match, because God knows on weekends I'm gone from second week of January till the second week of December next year. I've got not one weekend home next year because of all my open enrollment classes. So I need to get somebody that I can trust to be like, okay, here's the keys to the kingdom. All that needs to be, all you need to do once a month is staple targets up. I'll build all the stages, have everything ready to go. I'll have a tablet set up for you. And you just, everybody come out, you start shooting at say 10 a.m. You shoot through 6 stages, you go home. There'd be no setup for competitors and there'd be no teardown. So other than just tearing targets off the target stands, leave everything else to me when I get back, from wherever I'm at that weekend. And when I come home, I'll swap things around and clean the bays off again and start over again next month. I thought it'd be kind of a good way to set up a cool match for people.
I'll tell you what, I got a deal for you. When Sophia inevitably divorces me, because let's be honest, fucking pick a day, right? Why would she not? I'll do the Breaking Bad thing. I'll come down there. I'll live at the furthest end of the property in a trailer. I'll teach the private lessons at the house at the home range, and I'll be your match director / Quasimodo guy.
Yeah,
I'll just climb up and ring the bell occasionally. It'll be fine. I won't try to curl up at the foot of the bed or nothing. I'll stay outside at night. I'll clean up. It'll be fine. I don't see any problems with it.
It's a good time, man. It's really cool. It's super. I feel super blessed to finally been able to kind of cross, or check that box. It's been something that, I've told you guys for about the last year and a half or so. I'm super excited. Ken, I know you and I've talked about it since I've been in New Mexico. It's on the plans. I'm going to build a range, and finally this year was like, you know what? We're not doing this. I'm not going to keep putting it off. I've got the funds set aside. Let's get it done. And man, it's super cool. So not only do we have 3 full pistol bays, not a quarter mile away from the house, out on the back part of the property, we also had the operator guy come out and while we had the equipment for the week, build me a berm directly in the backyard too. So I don't have to go further than 5 steps out my garage to shoot in the backyard too. And I've got a berm out there as well. So
must be rough.
It's tough.
It
really is.
It's rough. Well, you got to have a place to make all those TikTok videos, bro.
Exactly. Well, because I got tired of people, telling me oh my God, I'm living dangerously here in the middle of absolute nowhere, New Mexico, by not having a berm, because bullets will just travel to infinity and beyond.
You're going to hit Albuquerque from your house somehow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, plausible, but not with a 9mm or a 45. Not with anything that has the trajectory of a basketball.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. No,
I'm actually over on your website now, looking at where I can stalk you, Tim.
Yeah.
I see you're coming to Yadkinville in July.
I am. Registration's open. I think I've only got one person right now signed up for that class.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Dan Brady, fix that shit. Where the fuck? You're in the damn chat. What's going on?
Yeah. So Kent and I went and taught his defensive pistol metrics out there at Yadkinville. Come to find out, it's only like a 6-hour drive for me.
Oh man. Yeah, you have to come out,
bro. You want to go to that?
Although
that class? Let's go.
I was thinking so. Yeah.
Okay. There, you got to. I'll throw you
we'll pack up the kids.
We'll talk of it. That's retarded. You idiots in Yakima. You goddamn it.
I'm sure it'll probably fill.
Hey,
it's not until when? Like June?
It's July. July 22nd and 23rd.
Nope, not good enough.
We'll get through Christmas first. I'm sure it'll sell out.
It's going to.
I'm sure it will.
It's going.
Although he'll be in Lewisberry July 29th. Like literally 2 weekends later.
You know something? It's getting to the point. That son of a bitch is half sold out.
Or a week later.
Yeah, that one's damn.
Yeah, you're hosting him.
Yeah, but
let's just do. I'll come up to that one. I'll come up.
And then we're doing the instructor course in October.
That's got 5 or 6 registrations in it.
Oh, fuck yeah! This is awesome.
Something
it's gonna be a killer year.
I can look, but I probably crashed the podcast while I was doing it, so I probably shouldn't do that. But
yeah, Dan says you and him are going to be at Rangemaster Master Instructor that week.
Which week?
The week of the class in Yadkinville.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. So yeah, we'll just come back up there.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I'll just come up to you. We'll just come up to you guys.
Yeah. I was gonna say I didn't double book my schedule, did I? I can't host him and go to Rangemaster at the same time. But
is Dan gonna be at TACCon?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good. Are you gonna be at TACCon?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So I'll see you there.
Yeah, you'll see me there. You'll see Justin and Hirsch there too.
Hot damn.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm waiting for the Boogaloo bus to just randomly show up in front of my house and kidnap me to drag me out to TACCon with these guys.
Dan, you're not I thought you were on the 26 dudes in the Airbnb, Dan. What the fuck? Whatever. Now we're just talking about gun class.
What's in Kansas?
I don't know.
In March? There is
knowing
nothing
Dan,
good
it's probably court ordered. If it's Dan, it's court ordered.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got to go see a man about a horse in Kansas. He got in trouble. Yeah. See, dust in the wind. That's funny, Justin. That's good. Yeah, so I'm coming to TACCon solely so Zach Cox doesn't win the pistol match.
Well, he's not going to win the pistol match anyway, and I'm sorry to tell you, you're not going to win the pistol match either.
I'm coming for you, boy.
And nor is Kurt Clark.
Let's do this.
He's had his day. It's numbered, stamped, it's done. And I'm going to do it FUD style, appendix carrying a 30 super carry 1911.
No, you're not.
The hell I'm not. Yes, I am.
He just said, bitch.
Wait, okay. This is going to be fun. I can't wait for this. I cannot wait for this. You really have
iron sights. This is with iron sights.
You'll get killed in the streets, bro.
Oh yeah,
this is like when Georgie backs down Daisy.
Exactly like that.
Yeah. So Georgie's my corgi, and Daisy's the mastiff.
I'm the mastiff in the equation. I get it. That's funny. That's funny. That's really funny.
I mean, it actually works out because you are bigger than he is, and you're blind.
Oh yeah, well, that's true. 30 super carry 1911, huh?
Yep.
You paying $1.72 a round or what?
I'm really curious to hear what your experience is around that cartridge.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
I mean, there's a lot of hype
that cartridge. I truly do. So it is everything, honest to God. So ballistically, it's everything that 9mm is in about a 20% smaller cartridge, right? Typical 9mm velocities at about 1,200 feet per second. 30 super carry and 100 grain bullet is 1,350 feet per second out of this 5-inch barrel 1911. So ballistic gel, anything else like as far as like ballistics wise, the 30 super carry pretty well matches, is right on par. Whether it be the 100 grain or the 115 grain HSTs are right on par with penetration and expansion that of the 124 grain HST 9mm. So I get 20% reduction in felt recoil or noticeable recoil difference in 30 super carry in the same 1911 than I do a 9mm, and I get 20% higher capacity. So in a 1911, a 10-round magazine now is a 12-round gun for 30 super carry, and it is significantly softer shooting and flatter trajectories. Less bullet drop at longer distances. So honest to God, it's a phenomenal round.
Did you get dyes
I'm gonna
and
have to
shit
do
or
some.
what?
I'm not loaded. I don't have dyes or anything to load it. But while I still had some connections at Federal, I've been trying to amass as much of a collection of just cases of it that I can, and what I can't get, I'm buying. So just to have on the shelf and things like that. But I've probably put 1,000 rounds or so, 1,500, just in testing. When I was loaned the gun as a T&E gun from Nighthawk, just to do a review on. And I ended up falling in love with the gun so much that I called my guy at Nighthawk and was like, all right, I want to keep this gun. What do I need to do? And he was like, well, you have to buy it. And I was like, okay, like, where do I send monies? And I ended up buying the gun. And I love the gun so much, love the cartridge so much, that I am now made that gun my predominant everyday carry gun now.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
What are you buying? Where and for how much are you buying cases?
Target Sports USA occasionally, or Natchez Shooting Sports is kind of my go-to source.
What's your average per round? 50 cents a round or so?
For the 30 super carry, yeah, just under 50 cents a round, 41, 42 cents a round or so. It's no more expensive right now than like the 150 grain 9mm Federal Syntec. So, and then I can actually go to my local Sportsman's Warehouse or Cabela's here in Albuquerque and buy 30 super carry right off the shelves too.
Yeah, my Sportsman's Warehouse is almost out of the gun business, it looks like.
Really?
Yeah, dude, their ammo shelves went from this to this.
Dude, ours has gone from that to...
They shipped all the ammo out of Camp Hill and sent it to Albuquerque, I guess.
So, and this is for our listeners as well, guys. One of my personal favorite resources to find ammo is it's called ammoseek.com. AMMOSEEK.com. Ammoseek.com is showing 30 super carry. And what this does is essentially it's Google for ammo, right? It just indexes all the websites. You can't buy directly from AmmoSeek, but you click the links and it takes you to the places to buy the ammo. I'm seeing it or anywhere. It starts at 33.5 cents a round and goes up from there.
Yeah.
42 cents, 43 cents.
I think the last like 500 rounds or so I bought, I think it was right at about 40 or 42 cents a round, I think is what I paid for it. And I know I can find it a little cheaper, but I think I've got a couple thousand rounds now kind of sitting on the shelf. It's not my typical training gun, so I'm not shooting thousands of rounds a week, with it like I am 9mm. So I'm not trying to hoard as much ammo for it as I do, most anything else, because it is primarily my carry gun. I know Dan asked, like, how's it do in non-bear gelatin per FBI protocols? I personally don't have those answers or that experience with that yet. I do know there are some people that have reached out to me to either try to obtain a Nighthawk or a 5-inch variant to be able to do some testing and evaluation with, as well as I know Smith & Wesson has a couple of their M&P Easies that are chambered in 30 super carry as well. And I expect there to be more ballistics testing. Whew, that's a mouthful. With that round, probably within the next few weeks too. That like have a lot of reviews and things on it, more so than what I'm just getting from manufacturers. So
is it a 380 case or a 9mm case or its own case?
It's its own case. Okay. So it's a taper case, just like 9mm, right? Mm-hmm. But where a 9mm case is 0.357 in diameter, right? Just the case. Yep. The case of 30 super carry, it's a 30 caliber bullet, so it's 0.300 30 caliber. So it's a smaller diameter bullet than 9mm, which is a 355 to 356 bullet.
That's where the capacity is coming from.
Right. The case on the 30 super carry, it's the same length Just the case, the brass case itself is the same length as 9mm, but it's a .302 at the largest at the case web, all the way down to the narrowest is like right at 301 or so, or 302, 304 to 302, slightly tapered. But like I said, it's rimless case, just like a 9mm. So yeah, for every 10 rounds of 9mm, you gain 2 rounds of capacity with 30 super carry.
So like a Federal GM 100 small pistol primer or whatever.
Yep, it still takes regular small pistol primer. So, which is also one of the main reasons I'm buying, like right now, factory ammo, is to then be able to have a surplus of brass.
Yep.
So that once reloading equipment possibly comes a little more available, I'll go ahead and set up the press, or at least set up a tool head on the press to be able to load what I want on my own as well.
Yeah, military arts channel, Tim.
What's that? What about him?
More so. Go ahead.
Hey, TJ, you're delayed by about 2 seconds. You're stepping on people you don't mean to. You might want to dive out and dive back in. Yep.
Carry on.
So are you what the hell did I ask? Oh, you're loading on a 550 for a 550 tool head, right?
Yeah, for a couple of them. I've got a 750 as well.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
you know, it's funny though. I've amassed a hell of a collection of 9mm stuff, just as ammo, you know, from the last 2 years was harder and harder and harder to find. And I've somehow kind of fought my way through it. And I'm still not loading, even though I've got a huge amount of of components. I'm still buying factory stuff just because it's become easier to get again. So 9mm, I'm not loading. 45, I am loading, but
yeah, I'm kind of at the place where it's like the components are the last resort.
Right. That's what I'm kind of doing. I'm hanging on to them as well.
It's kind of what I'm like.
I mean, it's not like primers and bullets and brass will go bad. So
don't tell my wife that. God damn, dude. I'm doing the whole last in, first out thing as far as she knows. She has no idea. Come on. Yeah. So 30 super care. Like, I don't know. I'll be real with you, right? I'm skeptical of the industry when they come out and they do the whole, like, the greatest thing, newest ever, awesome, whatever. I kind of am afraid, like, oh, is this a solution looking for a problem?
I think most people, like, I, honest to God, Kent, I was the exact same way. I was like, oh, whoop-de-doo. Insert, you know, like, masturbation emoji here. Like, I didn't really see that there was much of a need for it, you know? But what it does well is everything. It already does well everything that 9mm does, right? But what it also does is because of the size of the bullet, because of the size of the overall length of the cartridge itself, the pressures remain about the same, but in a smaller platform, especially on a smaller cartridge in a full size gun, right? Like I said, you get a little bit high, you get higher velocities with less felt recoil. Now in the MMPs, right, on any of the Smith & Wesson models, the smaller polymer pistols that those pistols have been designed around that cartridge, you're not really going to feel much of a difference as far as like felt recoil like you do on a full-sized or even a 4-inch 1911 or 5-inch 1911. However, what you still get from it is 9mm ballistics, or very similar to 9mm ballistics. It's what I expect it to do is to replace the anemic 380 ACP.
It's kind of what I was thinking. I'm sitting here going, okay, so we bridge the gap between 380 and 9.
I think you're eliminating 380 altogether,
right?
With the 30 super carry, because now you've got a cartridge that is just as versatile as 9mm, that is now able to be used in a smaller grip, smaller platform pistol, that actually works like it's supposed to, unlike 380 that doesn't, right? And You still get felt recoil similar to that of the 380 in a smaller cartridge or a smaller product, but you get more capacity than you would in a typical 9mm gun. So like a double stack gun, like if you've got a, like say a 15 round, let's look at it from like say a Glock 19. Like if a manufacturer is to manufacture a gun around 30 super carry, you would go from 15 rounds in a standard Glock 19 size magazine to 3. You would go to 18 plus 1 or possibly 19 plus 1 rounds in the same magazine at 30 super carry.
Yep.
Everything else being the same.
Yep. Have you ever shot a 380 Glock 19? Whatever the fuck that. It's like a Glock 30 something.
I've not. I've shot the Glock 42 and hated it.
Oh, I hated that gun too. But
yeah, that one you're talking about, Kent, is I think it's the Glock 25.
Sure.
And it's a service pistol for South America.
Sure it is. So their numbers confuse the fuck out of me still to this day. But yeah, you're right about the South American service pistol part. I'm 100% with you on that. I had an opportunity to run that and loved it because I was like, dude, this 380 doesn't recoil this gun at all. Like there's nothing in it. And you're just zippering rounds. It's almost like I was Tim Herron for 5 seconds. I was like, whoa, this is even easier. Like, I'm all about the cheat codes. Like, so I'm down with the innovation. I like all the stuff. I'm just skeptical of when I'm gonna be real with you. Like, so the whole Smith & Wesson EZ line, when it seems like the stuff was timed for the caliber to come out, the gun to come out, the whole thing to be like the new, like the Springfield Saint marketing campaign, right? Like we all need yoga shorts and fucking, we all need to be climbing a mountain. And, the word revolutionary comes into the ad. It's like, oh, fuck, really? Like,
right.
I don't know, dude.
I get it. Like I said, I was 100% skeptical about it as well. Yeah. Until and that was why I reached out to my guys at Nighthawk, and then I reached out to my connection at Federal. Was like, well, I've, knock on wood, I've got some connections here, right? So like, maybe I'll use them and kind of do some of the Lord's work here, and I'll like, if I can collect some things, and like, I want to do my own testing on it, good or bad or indifferent, right? And to me, it says a lot, and I know it's me tooting my own horn on this kind of thing, but it says a lot about the product itself. It says a lot about the gun. It says a lot about the cartridge. When I could have shot it and been like, I don't know. I don't really see it being viable versus what actually happened where I shot it. I put the gun in multiple other folks' hands. I took it to even a couple of classes with me and even to a major match out at Area 1 in Idaho earlier in the year as well. I even let the Army, a couple of the AWU guys, shoot a few rounds through it too. And everybody was like, holy shit, this thing is fucking awesome. And I was like, I know, right? I even ran it across the chrono because I wanted to see if it would be, I wanted to truly see like what it chronoed, not like across my own chronograph. I wanted to shoot it at like a USPSA official match chrono. And that's where we got, I took the numbers down from velocities that I saw firsthand, letting the chrono guy at Area 1 shoot it across the chrono. Was like pleasantly surprised. And like I said, the more like I think I got to 200 rounds initially from Federal, and then I bought 400 more, and then I bought 600 more, and then I bought another 500, and then I just like I kept shooting it and shooting it and shooting it. So I was like, dude, I'm sold. I want this thing. So, and for anybody listening, like I paid full MSRP price. As a Nighthawk representative, I paid full MSRP on that gun because that gun was never supposed to leave the Nighthawk conglomerate. It was that gun was built to be a T&E gun, right? It was supposed to just be handed off to different magazine editors and different writers and things like that. And I didn't want to let it go. And I ended up paying full price on the pistol. I'm into the gun for as much as anybody else would be on it. And I love it. I love it to the point that like, yep, this is my new carry gun.
So let's just cross that bridge real quick, guys. Like MSRP on a Nighthawk is not a $600 Glock, by the way.
No.
At $0.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Well, this, I'll be honest with you. I paid $3,256.67 out of my own pocket for a Nighthawk GRP in 30 super carry.
GRP. I'm not familiar enough with their line either.
So
I got to get familiar.
And yes, Dan, it does clear minimum power factor easy. At a 100 grain bullet traveling 1,350 feet per second, that makes 130.5 power factor, like right out of the box. And that wasn't any super special anything. That's not, even like HST rounds, which are typically known to, to kind of bump up the charge a little bit more than, say, American Eagle, or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, a standard GRP goes for $3,500 to $3,600 or $3,400 or whatever. I got whatever the MSRP deal was on that. But yeah, like I said, I got the receipt in the other room.
Nice. So did you put a weapon light and a dot on it?
Well, it's a traditional 1911. It does have the iOS cut, so I can put a dot on it. I will not put a dot on it, but it is a traditional 1911 in that it is not a railed frame. Therefore, kilts in the streets. Again,
it's a shame.
Damn it!
It's a real shame. We were so close.
That's what it looks like right there.
Huh? I don't even understand. There's no rail up there. I don't know what to do.
I feel diminished. I can't do my usual Jamie thing because opening up another tab is what slows me down.
Yeah, man. Tennessee Valley Authority must have something to do with the internet too.
Or the fact that I'm running like 18 space heaters to help my HVAC not struggle so much.
That's funny. So you've been a little bit vocal in the Facebook groups on the interwebs too. Do you want to just do this thing? Because I really want to do this. I just want to dive. I just want to dive all the way in.
Let's do it.
All right. So here's the deal, y'all. This is me saying this. Tim's not. I'm not necessarily going to co-sign Tim into my shenanigans. This is all me. The views and opinions are 100% that of GMD LLC. So you can fuck off if you don't like them. If you are spending so much time on a Facebook fucking gun group talking about who's the best shooter on the planet Earth and why you're him, you're not out training like you should be. Or you're a trust fund baby or something, I guess. There's so many of you dudes. Tim and I just got co-opted into yet another Facebook group. And there's like, I can't keep up with these Facebook groups. There's, the gun internet Facebook bullying works and the Facebook training conglomerate group and then this group and then that group. And I'm seeing some common themes in them. So I kind of want to talk about a few of them.
Let's do it.
So my first common theme in Facebook groups is what I'm going to call a not enough information question asker guy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Like I saw a picture of a dude with a, I don't know, 5 or 6 inch group. Target 5 or 6 inch group, couple flyers, slow-mo video of him shooting it. Based on the range that I was looking at and the demarcations on the indoor, he might have been shooting it at like 15 or 20 yards, I think. Right? But I really can't tell. And he goes, "Hey, dudes, give me some tips." Fucking, okay. Here's a tip. What were you focusing on? What were you working on? What distance were you at? What gun is that? What's your relative level of skill? Right? Like, and there's 10,000 guys on there giving him advice about what to do with his thumb and what to do with his grip and where the pad of his finger should be on the fucking trigger. And I'm on there like, "Hi, I'm Kent. Let's start with what's your name?"
Yeah.
We're like, what the fuck? Like, hey, dude, fix me on the internet, right? So here's my new deal. My new deal on Facebook groups from now on is I'm going to say, "Hi, where are you?" And when they answer me, I'm going to go find them a professional, and I'm going to tag that dude. I'm going to be like, "Hey, professional, this guy needs help, and he's less than 2 hours from you. Y'all should do some private lessons."
Good call.
That's all I'm going to do from here out on Facebook groups. So y'all might want to uninvite the fuck out of me because like that's all we're doing. From now on, I'm just going to go, I did it today.
And it's because it turns into, right, it turns into like dick measuring, like all the time. If you offer any sage advice whatsoever, then you get 7 other people that jump all over you about like, what do you know? You know, like who the fuck are you? How would you know anything? You know, like, oh, well, apparently you're just an Instagram instructor. I get that shit all the time. I'm like, okay, bro. I just, so like the whole gun bullying works or the training bullying works groups or whatever. I've had to escape that madness, because no matter how much information that you try to give somebody, you know, as Scott Jedlinski would talk about that, right? Being given the milk for free. Yep. Right. And I've been known to give a whole lot of free milk over the years to people. And it's gotten to the point now, nobody even wants to drink it anymore, because everybody claims to be the professional that we all know that they're not. And that's fine. You know, I honestly, I've ran out of time having arguments with dipshits on the internet. I would much rather spend my time making funny Instagram videos or funny videos about how killed in the streets I am if I listen to all that dipshittery of everybody else that is the professional online. So I just have more fun now, especially of this last week where I've been kind of holed up at the house and haven't really done anything else, just sitting on the phone and just making fun of people and making funny videos. And, you know, fuck it. It's fun. And the guys that know me laugh along with me. The folks that don't, either they don't get it or they laugh at me or along with me. And hey, it's a great time.
All that's coming to my mind is the meme that I saw a meme a few years ago. And it was at like the height of the Chad like whole thing. And it was like this young dude who was like posting in a chat group. You know, guys, I'm in the gym every day. I'm just not getting the gains that I want and this, that, or the other. And like, it went through an iteration of like, well, my young king, what you failed to lack is the blah, blah, blah. It was this long diatribe. And then another dude would comment, like reply to that comment saying, that's right, my fellow king. What the young king is really experiencing here. Like, Jesus Christ.
Right?
What kind of circle jerk did you walk into?
I don't know, but I'm saying king on the internet about 30 times within the next 4 days.
Yeah. My fellow king, please continue with your questions for the other king, Tim Herron.
Oh my goodness. That's funny. But that's the first thing that bothers me about this. And Tim, I know like you're putting up a slightly like I'm mean Tim facade. But y'all
I think it's just because I've literally lost my patience for that bullshit anymore.
So here's what
I do kind of put up the patience for. I don't mean to, but I just after a while, Kent, you get a little curmudgeoned.
Yeah, but here's what you have not lost your patience for though. This dude, our guest this evening, King Herron, my fellow king here.
Oh, damn.
Fucking the only other people I've ever seen that put as much effort into their training as he does are the people that work for me or with me or around me, right? This dude stays on range 2 and 3 extra hours on a class when he could have been done and keeps pushing people. And there's a guy on the internet asking for fucking help. And in your Tim Herron soul, somewhere below the bourbon and the cool guns, is that nice little human who's like, God damn it, I want to help him.
Oh, absolutely.
I just want to fucking help that guy.
Yes, I do.
And if all you sons of bitches would shut the fuck up and let me help him, I'd help the shit out of him, right?
Yep.
So that becomes the problem, because Dan Brady, Justin, myself, and yourself are all sitting here, and all of us have tried the like, all right, I'm just going to dip in this comment section. I'm going to give some good sound advice. I'm going to drop some contact info. I'm not trying to pimp myself. For fuck's sakes, I'll send you to somebody else just reach out to me direct. Let me help you. And then I will move on with my day, right? And instead, you end up in this like ridiculous dick measuring contest.
Always.
And
always.
And it's always with somebody you've never heard of. Which is the unfortunate, like if I'm on here and all of the sudden, you know, I don't know, AJ Zito jumps on and he's talking to the guy. and the guys asking 2011 questions, I'm probably going to shut all the way the fuck up. And I'm going to read with everybody else, right? But like when I see some dude I've never heard of, and I'm like, man, are you just trying to make a reputation for yourself in gun groups? I've been drug into every one of these I'm in. I haven't tried to join on one of these.
I haven't either. I haven't either.
You know, so it's like, what are you doing? What are you guys trying to prove here? And then we get to like the drill of the month thing or whatever, and I'm like, I guess I'll take the time to do that during one of my 6 private lessons this fucking next 3 days. Like, what? Hold on, paying clients who are actually learning something. Please let me put my camera up here and flex on the internet for 5 minutes. Like, come on. I don't know, dude. The part of it that I like, and honestly, there's a way to do it and there's a way not to do it. You put your shit up there and you go, this is what I can do. I'd love to see you beat me. I'd love to see you outpace me. Not like in a cocky, shitty way, but in a like, damn, bro, that's fucking legit. Good for you. And just move on, and like that, the camaraderie aspect of that.
Right.
Fuck yeah. You don't think for a minute I was looking at where I could go find a 250-yard range for a pistol. You're retarded, boy. I was all about that shit. I was like, if I could find one of them, I'm doing that. Bet you $5. I'll send 600 rounds downrange so I could beat Tim Herron by 100th. And I'll show that video and I will leave. Like, I don't know. No, Dan Brady, don't be hurting your feelings. That's my point. Dan, you're the dude who's doing the correct camaraderie. Like, let's put up a drill. It's the whole, I don't know.
I can't even go that far anymore, though. Like, if I jumped on a group like that, or I'm invited to a group like that, if I even promote, I don't know, a video that I made 3 years ago about, I don't know, grip and sights, then it, like, to everybody else, that comes off as if like I'm trying to be the big swinging dick in the room. And it's like, but that, you know, the name of this group is like how to tell those that train, or I don't know, whatever they, you know, and I'm like, I was like hoping to share some information, and it turns into like somebody out there has got to be like, well, fuck you, you know, you don't know nothing. You know, let's see you do that with a carry gun, or let's see you do that with this. And it's like, I could do that too. You know, but it's like, I don't know. It's almost like one of those things. Like, I guess it occasionally you get that target just painted on your back by no matter who the group is or where it's at. And you just become that guy. Like, okay, I guess this is my month to be that guy. So
yeah, the other thing about that is that there's still this unnecessary divergence between competitive and tactical shooting.
Oh, and I hate that.
I'm still not sure. I can't yet define tactical shooting. I think I was one of those guys for a while, and I didn't know what it was. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's not a fucking textbook definition for this.
Right.
So super tactical, you didn't even realize you were doing it.
Sure.
As quiet as the footsteps of a Navy SEAL.
Oh, God. That goddamn cringy ass commercial. That fucking holster commercial. Jesus. But no, so you actually segued me pretty good, because what year did you start shooting competitively?
2010.
Right. Fuck you, first of all. For the record, fuck you. Because for those of us that have been doing it, like, Tim picked up a pistol in 2010 and turned into Pistol Jesus in 2016. So that, whatever year that was. So thanks for that. That hurts my feelings.
It will be referred to as the year of our Lord, 2016.
The year of our King. The year of our King. No, I don't know. Whatever year you became Pistol Jesus. But so back in 2010, like, Nighthawk just found out who you were, and they sent you like 12 $7,000 guns, right? Is that what happened?
Yeah, no.
Okay. So you mean to tell me you learned on a polymer Wonder pistol or God knows what, like everybody else?
I sure did.
No, say it ain't so.
Yeah.
What's the
my very first gun I bought was a Springfield XD 4-inch service model.
Shit.
That I overpaid by like $150 at the Bass Pro Shops in Independence, Missouri. 2 months later, I bought a Kimber Custom 2 1911, and that's the gun that I started shooting competition with and competitively. And I've kept that gun. I still have that gun. Actually, it's still in the safe to this day. I keep it for sentimental reasons, and it still runs its ass off. But I made master with that gun. I kept that gun long enough to make master before I bought my first real gun, which then when I made master, my first real gun I bought was a Sig Sauer 1911 Max Michel edition in 45. And that I kept that gun until I got my first offering or got my first offer to be like actually sponsored by a company, which was actually like I was sponsored by Sig Sauer for a couple of years, but with guns that I'd already purchased. Right. So I already had a vested interest in them, but I was very fortunate. I got to represent Sig Sauer. They gave me a P320 to play around with when the P320s first came out. That was back in 2014, 2015, something like that. And then when Sig won the Army contract in 2016, Sig said, we don't need amateur shooters to sponsor anymore, or to sell guns for us. We got the whole goddamn U.S. Army to sell guns.
We've got Max Michel, Daniel Horner, and literally everyone in the United States Army. Exactly.
So they, Sig dismantled the team, and then I was offered a position to represent Atlas Gunworks, and that was the first time I had a gun that wasn't an off-the-shelf, $1,100 to $1,200 pistol. With Adam Nilsson at Atlas, we sat down and designed kind of like what became the current crop of competition 1911 pistols that he was building, and that was the very first custom, like true full custom 1911 gun that I was ever awarded or given as a sponsored shooter. And that didn't come until 2017. So 7 years of buying my own ammo, buying my own guns, spending every penny I possibly had, every ounce of energy, every second of every spare minute of every day that I had on the range, learning and developing skill sets that weren't paid for by a sponsor or a company or in support of something or as an ambassador of something. No. Yeah, I did all that shit on my own.
So I don't think until this very moment I realized that you made master with a Kimber.
I did.
So I figured it was one of the Sig guns, to be honest with you.
Yep. In fact, I still have that Kimber. It runs to this day. That gun's got about 96,000 rounds through it.
False. Killed in the streets. Don't worry. Not
dead. Completely dead. Still has the factory Kimber rear sight on it, factory slide, barrel link, bushing, and frame. I only replaced the trigger components in it because I won a cylinder and slide drop-in trigger kit at a match like back in 2013, I think. By that time, I had like 60-some thousand rounds through the gun, and I had this drop-in trigger kit that I wanted to match, and I was like, yeah, I'll put that in it. And it's the only reason the parts, those particular parts have been replaced. But yeah, that gun still shoots a sub 2-inch group to this day at 25 yards.
I didn't think Kimbers got through a magazine.
Oh man.
What's
I was told the same thing for years and years and years.
Huh. Well, who'd have thunk it?
Right?
Who would have thunk it? So I think I find this part of this conversation interesting. I intentionally asked you that because I've never heard you say that shit. So I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to go through that lineage on a podcast or whatever.
No, I don't think I have. Yeah, I think it's the first.
Right. So here's kind of where I'm going with this. I find it really interesting when people kind of like attribute the equipment to the success.
I find it disrespectful.
Yeah.
I find it kind of like a slap in the face.
Yep. I could see how I certainly would.
It's
We've
kind of
been
one of
doing
the
it for years,
reasons
but
why.
we've been doing it. We've been doing that for years, though.
Oh, absolutely.
That's I don't think that's something unique to the firearms industry. I think that's something that was bred into us culturally through the marketing campaigns in the 90s. How many people wanted to buy a pair of Air Jordans because they thought they'd jump higher? Right? That was all. Like, nobody thought that they were going to perform like Michael because they wore his shoes.
Right.
But Nike sure as shit made it clear, or at least implied, that, hey, Michael Jordan does this. Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan because of the shoes on his feet.
Right.
Not to mention he could run circles around you in flip flops. Right.
I remember those commercials. It's got to be the shoe.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So I don't think that's. I don't think that's unique to. That's not. What's the word I'm looking for?
Well, and it's great when you see guys like Nils Jonasson like winning every national championship practically there was to win this year, and did it with a $550 Canic.
Yeah. Well, look at all the hate that the Beretta 92 FS got. It won two national championships year. I think 87 and 88, if I remember correctly. It could be 88, 89, but around that ballpark. But a factory Beretta 92 F, right? Back-to-back world championships, right? Not bad.
Well, and it won a national championship by the hands of Ernest Langdon back in like 05 or 06 when USPSA.
Yeah, not to mention all the shit he's done.
Yeah, and then it won two or three more national championships with Ben Steger. And and the guns that Ben was running at the time were like old beat to shit Beretta Delta Elites. I mean, they were, or Elite 2s, sorry, not Delta Elites, that's a Colt. Beretta Elite 2s. I mean, they were well over like 90-some thousand rounds a piece on those guns, before he moved on to shooting Tanfolios and things like that. So, yeah, I mean,
but to your point, the fact that people aren't mature enough to recognize that, Timmy, I feel like you're absolutely, my fellow king, you are absolutely justified in feeling slighted and besmirched by people, claiming your success to your equipment.
Well, it's one of the great things about like being my own, being self-employed, being my own boss now too. Like, instead of going out and buying the top level ammunition I could possibly lay hands on, like I'm buying 25-cent a round cases of like Blazer, CCI Blazer aluminum 115 grain ammo. And that's what I teach classes with. I won 2 area championships this year with 115 grain Blazer ammo. I mean, it's like, bro, it does the ammo go bang when it's supposed to, and is it reliable? Does it group semi well? Yes. Then great. I'll compete with it. I'll use it.
First of all, shame on you for not feeding the brass chickens. Now it's not going to get out of your head. Kent, have you ever heard that phrase, brass chickens?
The brass chickens.
Yes, I've heard brass chickens.
Yeah, you throw a bunch of brass on the ground. All these people that are reloading every case they can find are walking around like chickens, pecking at the corn, trying to pick up every piece of every casing they can find that's reloadable.
Brass chickens, yeah. So I know you've done some good things with some Blazer brass, or Blazer aluminum. You've never done anything good with LAX.
LAX. I don't think I've even tried any of that before.
Well, don't. Just fucking don't.
Don't.
Just go the other way.
Please don't.
Just that they wanted. Oh my God! I had 5,000 rounds of that to like help people through classes with. Because industry. That's cool.
Yep.
Dude.
You just injected a lot of malfunction clearing.
Dude. Holy shit. Like 20% failure rate.
Ooh.
Like,
easily.
We weren't brass chickens. We were live rounds with second primer strike chickens out there. Not good. I'm pretty sure those primers came out of a Russian prison somewhere. There was some kid like just hammering primers back into a I have no idea.
Oh my God.
They use that 22 long rifle reloading kit.
Yeah.
To get the primers back to function.
Ooh, that shit. I mean, you know me and my Glock striker springs. I'm over here fucking with everything because perfection ain't perfection. But like, I'm like, oh man, I'm not popping these primers. That's fucked up. I couldn't get him to pop at a 9mm revolver.
Wow.
I was like, okay, this is
it's one of those. It's one of those things. I'm glad I've been focusing on training with a hammer gun lately. Because I'll be out on the range trying to just do some practice and go click, recock, bang, there it goes. Okay, now we're good.
Dude, I did a 3-2 drill with a 9mm revolver. And I swear to God, I had about 13 trigger presses in that bitch.
Just 5 rounds.
I was like, fucking 3.27, and they're like, "Ooh," I'm like, "No, shut up, no, let me, no." God, what a mess! What an absolute mess. But yeah, so what about your previous to like? Let's talk about some jankety old guns. What have you had like in and out of your hands?
Ooh, janky
old. Like passed down.
Let's talk about the buyer's remorse that you've been saving for your therapist.
Ooh.
I don't know if Tim's gonna have any. That's the thing. TJ, I know you and I have a pile of it.
Jankety old guns. As far as like jankety old guns, I've got a couple of guns that are like hand-me-downs from my grandfather when he passed away that I've kept. But I've kept them obviously for sentimental reasons.
Right.
He really wasn't a handgun guy. He hunted, was pretty much the only thing he really did with firearms. So like I've got a really cool like Mossberg 16 gauge bolt action, which was like his turkey gun, which is kind of cool. And then I've got an original Browning A5.
Oh wow.
Short tube. I have yet to actually pass a shell through it. I pulled it apart, cleaned it, oiled it, put it together, and then just kind of put it in the safe. I don't know why I'm not shooting it or haven't shot it. It just, I don't know. It just, I will eventually. And I've got a couple other things. He's got an old Remington 700 in 30-06 that I'm sure was his deer gun. I don't know how many dozens and whatever of deer that he's shot with that thing. And I've taken out, zeroed it, made sure everything was good with it, pulled it apart, cleaned it, put it back together, and stuck it in the safe. The one pistol he did have that I've clung to dear life for is an original Ruger. Like before they even had him as a Mark II, Mark III, Mark IV, it's a pre-Mark Ruger 22 pistol, bolt action pistol that bolt like pre-Mark II, pre-Mark pistol that I've had. That's God, it's almost doesn't have any Parkerizing on it since he's probably owned it since, I don't know, the early 60s or whatever. So, and I've done a really good job like tearing that one apart and cleaning it, oiling it, putting it all back together. I've shot a few rounds through it, made sure everything functioned and fired, and then it sits in the safe. I'll get it out from time to time and shoot it just because it's fun. But yeah, I mean, more than that, I don't know, I've got a couple of CZ P10s. I've got guns that I've won, like at different matches and things like that are like, oh, this is cool. What do I do with this? So Springfield XDS in 9mm, little single stack 9mm gun. I've got a Ruger Security 9 double stack 9mm gun. I've got a PDP 4.5-inch full sized that I wanted to match. I've got I don't know, other guns that I've just like. I used to sell those guns off immediately. Like I would win those at matches or whatever and be like, and back when I was still like employed working at dealerships, I'd come in like, it was almost like coming back with the hunt, like, well, I killed this and this is the gun that I got. This is the prize, like who wants to buy this thing? And I sold all sorts of guns to coworkers, and some I wish I would have kept and things like that. But others of them I was like, man, if I don't use it, I've never really been the guy that like fill a safe full of things that I don't use or shoot. And then here in the last year or two, actually Lorna kind of talked me into it. She was like, hey, instead of just selling off everything all the time, like why not keep a few of those things? Especially like if, like you're a trainer and teaching and things like that now, like having just loaner guns on hand or things like that, or just even to play with or to prove or whatever, or to review, like just keep them. It's not costing you anything. And I was like, that's true. So, and that's where I've kind of held on to a lot more guns than I've ever shot. I mean, I got things that I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I'll put it back in the safe. I'm like, eventually I'll shoot it. And I haven't, but I will eventually. Some of them I have. I'll feel the trigger. I'll dry fire them. I'm like, oh, that's pretty neat. Yeah, I can't wait to get home and I'll pass a couple of magazines through it. And I'm like, and I'm done with that. That's neat. It's lost its luster now. I'll put it in the safe. So
just you wait till the next time I help you on the range. I bring out the Taurus Judge.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit. What was where am I on the 3x5 card? 17 rounds, 18 rounds, 19 rounds.
Yep.
Okay.
So I think you were at 18. Yeah.
So am I still in third?
You're still in third. Only so Matt Little actually holds my record now, but of course he did it with an open gun.
I don't care.
He did like 20. I think he did like 24 or 25 rounds.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
But God bless. So first of all, I don't care what, because I'm coming out with a Taurus Judge, and I'm gonna get 48 fucking pieces of buckshot on that bitch. You watch, God damn it. I'll get your ass.
I think for like guns, and I've not purchased a pistol like on my own, other than this Nighthawk 30 Super Carry. I have not gone to a gun shop and been like, man, I've got my eyes on that and I want to buy that. I've not done that in a long time. And I think right now, like what my collection is missing more than anything else would be a really good revolver
Dan, I'm glad you asked because I have the same question. You had me at 3x5 card a number of rounds.
It's actually not a 3x5 card. It's actually a 2-inch by 3-inch, like business card size. But it's one of my I call it my box drill, and you can print. It's 6 2-inch by 3-inch rectangles on an 8x10 sheet of paper, and then there's a series of exercises that we go through in class where I'll have you shoot like 3 of those boxes untimed, right? And it's to build a skill. It's also to build some confidence in your ability to be able to hold the gun still and kind of manage the sights, right? And then we do a 5-second par time, and we do a 5-second par time for 3 strings. And on the 3rd string, I don't task manage you with any particular number of rounds. It's like, I want you to shoot as many rounds as you can in a 5-second par time, as long as you can keep them in the box. But you've got to keep them in that 2-inch by 3-inch box, or that 2x3-inch box. And you get a 5-second
distance?
par time. 3 yards.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had 18.
Sounds easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. I had 18 in 5 seconds and 3 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like 20 with 2 out.
Yep.
The one before, and I was like, oh, we're out. And Justin and I were on the line with each other, and Justin was pushing it hard too.
Sam DeSimone is just above you with like 20. Eric Steiner, who hosts me in Boise with his open gun, has done 21, and then Matt Little did like 24 the other day to close out my classes this year. And I was like, shit, I've not had anybody even get close to that. And yeah, that 24 was pretty damned impressive. But he was like, don't ask me to do it again. I can't, I won't, I'm not, I'm done. And so, but it was pretty cool.
Sam and I did it the same day too, didn't we? Did he do it when he was at Lewisberry with us, or did he do it when he hosted you?
No, I think Sammy did it the first year when he attended Lewisberry.
That's right.
That was been, 3 years ago?
That's been 3
Has
years
it been
ago.
that long already? 3 years ago?
Yes. Yep.
Wow. Yeah. And then you did it last year or year before last?
Year before last.
Year before last. You did
You're
it
right.
the next year. That's right.
You're right. Huh. Dude, time flies.
I know, right?
Yeah, it does.
God damn, time flies. Also, I'm getting worse.
No, stop it.
Shit, I don't know if I can do that today. You don't know, but I paid Justin to put 4 in my card when you weren't looking. Shit, I farmed his ass a hundo.
You're not getting worse. We all go through parts like that though. I mean, there's days I go out here on the range and I'm like, God, like I just need to either sell off everything I own. Have I forgot how to do this? And there's other days that I had no aspirations to do anything cool or to really push. And then things like 250 yard, 1.18 draws to a piece of steel happen, and it just, those are, you get good days and bad days.
1.18. That's going to take me a case of ammo, but I can do it.
If it's any consolation, I backed it up 3 reps later in 1.15, but it was an edge hit.
No, that's not a consolation. That makes me want to jump out of Santa's sleigh tomorrow when he's out riding around. God damn, bro. Oh.
And that was recorded by my daughter. So she happened to pull up as I just drove back from the range, and I was all giddy and smiling and things. And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "You wouldn't even believe it if I told you." And so I showed her the video because I just happened to video it. And she was like, "Yeah, I'm seeing it on video and I don't believe you." And I was like, "Well, the internet's not going to believe me either." I was like, here's the phone. You record this. Let's try. I said, because it can't really be, like a trick shot if you can't back it up. It's just luck. We got to make sure this isn't luck. This is something that I can do. And she was like, okay. So she's standing there just recording, and she gives me the thumbs up. She's like, all right, I'm recording. And the next rep, I draw the gun, and I knew it was just a bad grip, no sight picture, no nothing. I just, you get that hunger in your eye. You're like, wham, you fire the shot and you're like, yeah, that was terrible. That was just that wasn't even a hoper, I was like, that was sloppy. And so she kept the camera running on that. Right. So I put the gun in the holster, and then the very next rep, bing, and I fired a gun, and we heard the ding faintly. And it was in 1.15. And I was like, did you hear that? Did you see? She immediately turned the phone off, not even thinking about it. And the look on her face was just like, holy shit. I heard, did that just really happen? And I was like, and I'm looking at her like, that just really happened again. Yeah. So
damn well she's on whatever website girls her age use it. She's on farmersonly.com chat boards right now. Go, my daddy John Wick. You ain't got no idea. My daddy is John Wick. That's just some shit right there. That's so cool, dude.
Yeah, it was that by far, I think that's the biggest feat in pistol shooting that I've ever accomplished is that one. I've shot with playing cards in less than a second and a half. I've done other things, but as far as exhibition shooting kind of thing, I mean, it really has no value or purpose, right? Other than just, it's an exhibition shot. It's a trick shot. But that is definitely, for me, by far and away, that's the best trick shot I've ever done.
I've shot at 100 yards with a 9mm pistol with a dot.
Mm-hmm.
What's your hold at 250?
So that was a BC zone piece of steel too. It wasn't even a full-size IPSC steel. My hold on that, so I had that right at the front of the bay of my pistol.
Arizona.
Bay. So yeah. So the back of the bay is 280, what is that, 283 yards or whatever. And then the steel was at 250 yards. Where I was holding was about 2.5 foot high of that piece of steel. So what I was actually looking at was basically the horizon of the back berm. And then I was putting the sights, the rear sight and front sight, kind of almost in line, just about to here of the back berm, and I sent it.
So you were indexing your dot. You were indexing
the iron sights on fucking nothing.
No, yeah, you got nothing. So
yes. I could anchor the rear sight on the steel, right? Okay. And then as soon as I did, right? So as soon as I cut the steel, which the steel at that distance looks like a speck of fucking white, right? Uh-huh. So it was as soon as that speck of white was in the rear notch of the rear sight, then the front sight, as you were kind of just you're looking through it, then you're kind of the front sight kind of occludes everything.
Oh, yeah.
And as soon as it was all lined up, the front sight's completely covered it. And then I just took the sights and lifted the gun about 2.5 feet to 3 feet above that steel and sent it. But as soon as I knew the rear sight, that speck of steel was in that rear sight, I was like, cool, my windage is there. Now all I got to do is raise the gun up the right amount of elevation. And it took me about 4 or 5 shots, not drawing, just trying to figure out what my hold needed to be before I ever tried the actual shot. But when I tried the actual shot, what you saw was my very first fucking attempt at drawing the gun. And it was seriously like, I drew the gun. I was like, I didn't even know what kind of time to put to it. I was like, if I can do this in less than 2 seconds, that's pretty freaking ridiculous. And then I drew the gun, and the sights were just there.
Mm-hmm.
I lifted the gun. I was like, well, we'll just see. Bow. Ding. And I was like, holy
Stop right now. You just explained my entire parameter for every shot I take. Well, fuck, we'll just see. Hey, look, it worked. Congratulations. That is the Green Mountain Defense method for pistol shooting. Let's just see what happens. Yeet.
And the secret sauce has been exposed.
God, dude. 1.18 seconds. Y'all don't. This ain't slob knobbering. Lord knows I ain't sucking his dick. If anything, I'm gonna make fun of the poor bastard all night. Like,
no, hold on a second.
1.18 seconds is stupid.
No, but Kent, we were just having this discussion about a recent thing that you guys were doing on the range.
Yep.
With a 1/3, essentially a BC, so 1/3 size target.
Yep.
Do the math on that.
Yep.
Practically, what would that put the distance of a full size IPSC target?
No, it hurts my brain, dude. So Tim, this one's your fault because I have your Tim Herron 1/3 size shit all over the basement down here, right?
Uh-huh.
So I took one of your 1/3 size silhouettes and photocopied the fuck out of it. And I used that on the indoor range because we've only effectively got 20 yards.
Right.
So if we want to do anything on a full-size IPSC at distance, all goddamn winter at night, that's the only thing I got to do it with.
Mm-hmm.
So I was teaching a private lesson to a couple, and I do a contextual draw stroke lesson where I talk about like how, hey, your actual no shit, don't get killed on the streets draw stroke is probably not going to be with your hands in the fig leaf position, squared up on a target, waiting for a beep. Like you're probably going to be walking or moving or doing something, have something in your hands, whatever, right? So I want you to be able to draw your gun on my cue while you're doing something else. And for this lesson, it was walking, and you know, us tactical Timmies talk about the grocery store aisle and how the average grocery store aisle is like 40, 50 yards. So a 1/3 size piece of Tim Herron shit at 15 yards is actually a 45-yard shot.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we were talking about that, and I gave him a part-time, and I told them, hey, guys, listen, you know, if you can be walking around and then get a cue and then visually index and then draw a gun, and you could do it in under 3 seconds, you're not doing so bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is not, you know, prep draw stroke. This is You're walking, you're moving, you're doing other stuff. I said, I want mine to be somewhere between 2 and 2.5, to be honest with you. They're like, okay. And I'm like, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk. I'm going to hit my timer at random. My timer gives me anywhere between 1.5 and 3 seconds or whatever it is.
Right.
Which means I'll have walked somewhere between 5 and 10 yards, which means I will take this shot from either 20 or 15 yards. Right. And when I do it, I'm going to hit that piece of you know,
target,
IDPA, USPSA size stuff. And I'm going to have a good high center mass hit. And I start walking as I beep the timer, and my student goes, bet you can't hit the head. I was like, oh, bitch, please. Right? Beat, draw, hit the head, 2.25 seconds. And he's just standing there looking at me, and he's like, the fuck? I'm like, what the fuck? What? It's not that big, and it's not that small. And he's like, no, that's small. And I got a B8 out, and I was like, bro, like, it's really not. So it's that whole do the math thing, right? It's all like make some relativity to the thing you're doing and do the math on it. It's not really that hard a shot. It is, but it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
250 yards. You hit the X ring. Like, I guess. I don't know what the fuck.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, the size of the target, like to the naked eye at 250 yards, if you were to take a 3/4 inch paster, right, a regular USPSA paster, just a little square brown pasters,
Yep.
and you took that paster and you tore it in half,
Yep.
and then you took that half of that paster and you tore it in half again, and you put that paster, that piece, that quarter of that paster on the target at a distance of about 8 to 9 yards, that might be about the size of the target at 250 yards.
Perfect. Give me a prescription. So white background, black paster.
Sure.
A quarter of the black paster at 10 yards.
Quarter of the black paster.
Okay.
So basically about the size of a 9mm bullet.
Fucking.
At a distance of about 8 to 10 yards.
And then, Kent, after that, I want you to put a camel through the eye of a needle.
Justin is entirely correct in his statement that is on the screen right now because he's right. I can't.
You misspelled feet.
Here's a paster. I couldn't see them when they were over
Okay,
here.
Peel one of those off. Peel one of those off.
All right, we'll do it.
Okay.
The fact that he has a roll of those on his
tear it in half. Now take that half and tear that in half again.
Hamburger ways,
not that way. Not that way. The other way. Turn it sideways.
Did you say hamburger ways, not hot dog ways? Hold on. I'll get the other half.
Okay. So tear that in half. Okay. Now, perfect. So I know the size of your basement very well.
Yep.
So that flag, that American flag behind you.
Yep.
Okay. Third white stripe down. Place it on the very end of that third white stripe farthest behind you. Right there. All the way back. Right to about there.
Yep.
Okay. Now come back and look in your camera and look at your recording of that camera. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay. Can you see it through your camera lens on your recording back to you?
Yes.
Look at your screen. Yeah.
Yes.
Look at your screen. You can just barely make it out.
Yep.
That's about what 250-yard C-zone steel looks like. So Dan Brady's got it right. You shot a 9mm bullet hole at 10 yards, basically, in 1.18 seconds.
Huh.
I didn't know Dan could do math.
I didn't know Dan could spell millimeter. Oh, yeah, man. Never mind. Golly, Tim. All right, so I'm doing that shit. I'm going to tear a pastry, hot dog ways, then hamburger ways. Thank you, TJ, for hot dog and hamburger ways. That's the only way you can get me through that shit.
And next week, we'll teach you how to tie your shoes.
No. All you got to do.
No more Velcro for you, buddy.
Bro,
it's big boy shoes.
If
you're going to run like you're going to jump like Jordan.
If you would have been there for the moment that Tim let me talk the fucking students through his near to far drill, and I'm look at his face. Look at his face.
Oh no way! I think I remember you tell. I think you've told me that story.
Oh God, help me! Hamburger ways and hot dog ways is about the exact fucking. That's about the level of quality that was coming out of my mouth. Ooh.
Hey, we all worked with it. It worked great.
And you, in your class, you're looking at me like, I hope Kent doesn't get mad that I make fun of him. And I'm over here like, Texas, Alabama, Utah on 3 break. And they're like, what the fuck?
You just said it would be me.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude,
left,
Tim,
close,
you're the best
long,
human on the planet.
Right, middle, far. We were like, what? Medium,
Tim,
left, 25.
Listen, Tim, here's the deal. You're the best dude on the planet. You had every right to be like, go down to the clubhouse and scrub the toilets and get the fuck off my range. You had every right to say that. And instead you were like, oh, I hope Kent doesn't get mad when I correct him on this terrible mess of a drill.
I thought it was great. I couldn't even give anything. I couldn't even give any other range commands because I was just too busy just laughing. Because I was like, did I hear him right? And then you would call it out again. And I was like, I totally heard him right. He's really called. All right, we're doing this. It was great. It was so great.
My favorite part was the dudes who were ripping on their guns in class, who were like really shooting well, who were like, what the fuck am I supposed to shoot? Fuck it. Bop, 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 bop. Just send it out. Oh, God.
It is what it is.
Hamburg ways versus hot dog ways, TJ. That's great.
I'm digging that one.
All right, so I'm going to go get a USPSA target out. I'm going to turn that bitch around backwards so I have some white shit facing out towards me. And I'm going to get some black shit or some brown shit, and we're going to see what happens.
Okay.
I'm going to find out because I'm going to tell you right now, the 1.188, that's not a thing. If you want me to call it right now, students at home or whoever, this is a good thing to be able to do. Be able to call your own shit. 1.8. I'd probably give you 1.8.
I'll take 1.8.
I'd probably give you 1.8. I don't think I can give you 1.2 anything or 1 teens, but I'd probably give you 1.8.
Good.
And I really truly think I can do that off a draw. It could happen in 1.5 or somewhere in between 1.5 and 1.8. Like it could happen, but it ain't gonna be because I made it happen. It's because Jesus helped me. Like, but once 118 is smoking. Sub 2, yeah, Dan Brady, exactly. Call your shit. Like, I've and by the way, Dan, I believe you. Justin, you could absolutely do in sub 6.
So mean. Oh yeah.
You for sure could. Justin for sure could do it in sub 6. Oh, dude, I don't know. That's spicy. Here's my problem. So Justin was clowning on me earlier, but no shit. My vision is not there. I don't know if I could see the steel.
Well, and like I said, that's why you've got to. I mean, I spent 5 or 6 rounds, or whatever it was, like trying to find what my hold needed to be to hit the steel. And I hit the steel once and was like, was that, like during my kind of my side end procedure to find out what my hold was, I hit it once and I was like, I better confirm that again. And I held about the same area and I was off just a touch high. And I was like, okay, that was about right. So I fired one more and I hit it 2, like out of that 5 or 6 times. I was like, okay, cool. Fuck it. We're going live. And what you see is what you got.
Yeah, that's definitely some high level exhibition shooting for sure. The difference here's the only problem though, for me, the simulated. So going to 10 yards and doing the Hamburg hot dog thing on the pacer doesn't really give you the holdover. Right.
I mean, you're basically shooting kind of, I hate to say it, but kind of blind.
You really are. The holdover part of that is not, this is not an equal like thing because the holdover on it, I mean, so the holdover on that pacer at 10 yards is basically, according to my gun zero, I'm not really holding over at all.
Right.
So, I mean, I could make the dot appear where I want the dot to appear, and I could do it quick. I can get my dot there in 1.15 or 1.2 from 10 yards. I can't refine the grip and the trigger press well enough to make that land there. I could make rounds land all the fuck around it. Right? But like close to it, but not, you know what I mean?
Right. That's the hard part.
Like, fuck, dude. The level of grip pressure you have to have there and the level of refinement in the trigger press not to shank that by any measure. That's a shot.
Well, and think about that, right? That's at 10 yards, not to shank it by a half an inch, 3/4 of an inch. Give half an inch to 3/4 of an inch at 10 yards to a quarter of a pacer turns into feet at 250 yards.
Yeah, that's stupid. That's absolutely stupid. I don't know, man. That's what I find interesting. Here's the value I place in this kind of stuff. So that the shot I described to you, the equivalence of a 45-yard headshot and 2 1/4 was a cold shot in front of students for a demo.
Yeah.
those people had a phenomenal lesson afterwards. And I'm attributing some of that phenomenal lesson to the fact that they were like, oh, if that goofball can do it, shit, let's see what I got. Like,
I think it's a two-way street. Yep. So I think they're going to have a phenomenal lesson because you've done something that they know is now humanly possible, right? Mm-hmm. They've seen another human being who's no different than them, doesn't talk any different, doesn't walk any different, shut up, right? Doesn't do anything any different than they can do that. At the same token, the other part of that equation is they're going to get a phenomenal lesson because think about what it did to your confidence to know Absolutely. You could on fucking demand in front of an audience do something in the first time, right? And basically call yourself, you know? And so, I mean, it's the confidence is there on both sides. And dude, that's catalyst for the greatest wildfire of training you've ever seen. That's when everything's hitting on every cylinder. It's great.
Hey, Kent, damn Dan Brady just Mr. Wizarded your algorithm for you.
He's too smart. He really is too smart. We crack on him a lot, but all right. So hold on.
Ooh, Dan's got that. I like that. Yes.
Take the black pastry piece, put an identical white pastry piece 2.5 above the black. Okay.
Right. And then hit the white paster over the top of the black piece.
So your vertical alignment is going to be there, but you're making up for the elevation.
So you're going to draw the gun, right? Dot's going to be, as soon as you get the dot centered over the black piece, then raise the dot 2.5 inches off of that and then fire the shot.
To hit the other paster.
Correct.
Well, the way my draw stroke has been lately, it's on its way up when it fucks up anyway. So this would be great. This would be fine. I mean, no, but that's good, Dan. Okay, he's right. That's what we will do. And then we'll post it on trainingbullying.com/Facebook.
One of those. I'm not in the training bowling one anymore. I had to leave that one. I couldn't take the dipshittery there. There's a couple though that I could recommend though. The Shoot, Learn, Grow. That's a really good one.
Oh, I'm not in that one yet.
There's one called, let me pull that one up. It's called More Training, Less Ego.
Yep.
Hearing you guys talk about this almost makes me want to get back onto Facebook, but then I have a sudden moment of clarity where I'm like, nah. I'll stick to the. I literally have been signed out of Facebook for about 6 months now, with the exception of Messenger. Right, it's the only reason I stick around, so I can still talk to you guys. Well, I mean, Kate, you've got my cell number, but Timmy, you, Dan Brady, all the rest of the crew.
Yeah,
and my life has never been better. Dude, no, social media has made us all socially retarded.
It has. Well,
it boggles my mind.
There's zero filters, right? There's no repercussions for being the loudest mouth in the room. There's no repercussions for being the rudest person in the room. Right. Like I said, it's taken away any fear of being punched in the mouth for being a disrespectful POS to somebody. So everybody just they talk above each other instead of talking to each other, and that's one of the main reasons I can't stand those groups anymore. There's a couple of groups like Dan agrees with me. More Training, Less Ego. I think that's a great one, and that became the castaways from the old Training Bullying Works group. It's full of a bunch of assholes, and the people that left that to go to kind of start the More Training, Less Ego. That's so far. Granted, it's brand new. It's been around now like 2 weeks, but so far that group's been pretty serious, and full of quality goods and quality information. So
yeah, and that's the downside is like the whole drill of the month thing. I love that idea. Mm-hmm. The cold drill Fridays that the Apache boys were doing, love those videos. I think there's a lot of camaraderie. It's kind of like the whole equate it to many years ago when people used to play chess by mail.
Right.
The whole correspondence chess thing. Right. It's kind of the same feel to it. Yeah, you've never heard of that?
Dude, I can't play chess in person and stay engaged. I got to play by mail?
Yeah. So back in the day, yeah. Well, now we can do words with friends and shit.
What? No.
But the bottom line is because there is value to that. It gives people that maybe don't have the means or the ability or the prioritization around actually going out and getting training. It gives them something like, hey, this is the standardized test, and we're all going to come back around and talk about it. Kind of like a book club for gun people, right? But what bothers me is like with all the toxicity around it.
Mm-hmm.
You've got all these assholes stinking up the place, but every now and then, like there probably is like a nugget of positivity and good information that comes out of that. I equate it to the 1,000 monkeys with 1,000 typewriters over 1,000 years will create you all the works of Shakespeare.
Right.
You're going to get a lot of shit thrown against the walls in the meantime, but eventually you're going to get Shakespeare. So that means that there are nuggets of positivity and value that come out of those situations, but it's like, God, it's just not worth wading through all of it.
And that's,
You are so bougie, bro.
Sometimes I try to, and then there's other times I'm like, I'll spend about a week in one of those groups, and then I'm like, and I can't do this anymore. I'm out. And I've got to just pull myself away.
Yeah. Wait, how am I bougie? Or did you call Tim bougie?
No, you, God damn it. You got the 1,000 monkeys and 200 typewriters and chess by mail. And who are you, bro? And also, second question. Wait. Why does this happen when I click stop camera? Why do I look like you?
Because you're logged.
What the fuck is going on here?
Because you're logged in. We share a login, asshole.
What are we, a couple on Facebook that cheated on each other and we share a login? What is this nonsense?
I mean, it is Kent and TJ's Facebook page.
God damn.
Every time
I go in to piss, I've been putting up your face. I didn't know that.
Yeah. The funny thing is there have been times where you've put up, like, you've been logged in under yourself, and it's worked fine. You're just too lazy, so you just use my login.
I don't know how these beep boops work. I didn't understand. I didn't understand at all. So let's see what else is going on here. Oh, Tim, I hear you're teaching a rifle class coming up.
Wait, what? No,
I hear you're teaching. Yeah, you. I hear you're teaching a rifle class.
Look at the concern on his face. Like, no, long gun's bad. I didn't know.
I just wanted that reaction. That was all.
Yeah,
that's all I needed. He's like, oh God, oh no.
I did not need cardiac arrest the day before Christmas Eve, you bastard.
No, but you did have. So now, to be serious, you had at least one person that I'm aware of come through your training with a PCC, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And no one died.
No one died.
Right. Things
I
were
made them
learned.
better. Yeah.
Things were learned.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to the one dude who's asked me in Lewisberry if he can come to Lewisberry with a PCC, the answer is,
100% he could come. Yeah.
All right, cool. There we go. That's all I needed. So by default, you're teaching a rifle class. Congratulations.
Yay.
Right. Start talking about 4 points of contact. God damn it.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Mm-hmm. So I just want to know, like, I honestly want to know where you think the training thing is going here in the next couple years. Are we, right? Like, are we about to be pirates? Or are we about to be doing shit that's illegal? Are we on a downhill slide towards the bottom of despair?
I don't think we are. I think we're seeing things, and I talk to Steve Fisher. You know that. I talk to Steve a lot about these kind of things because he's been in the industry long enough to have seen these things like become cyclic. Tom Gibbons is the same way, right? I mean, Tom can tell you all about the cyclic rate of the training industry and things and what we see. And I think guys like you and I that were kind of like, we started to kind of the brink of the new era of, kind of new age of training are now, we've been in it long enough now to see things kind of start to make that 180-degree turn. Give us another 3 or 4 years. We'll see everything kind of go full circle. That first cyclic rate. I think right now we're starting to see like everything was super super edgy and speed focused and timer focused and things like that. So we're seeing that bell curve this way. Now we're seeing the curve kind of come over the other side. Now we're seeing the same instructors who were just 2 years ago even talking about how important it is to train with the timer, now telling those same students, hey man, you really need to focus on feel and tactile, types of inputs and things like that, and disregard the timer for a while and focus on what you're seeing and all of those, like all those Brian Enos types of things that we were, that we heard 10 years before timers kind of took over on everything. And like, it was funny. I was just having that conversation with Steve the other day. He was like, dude, what the fuck? And I was like, what? And he was like, are you seeing this shit? Like now the dudes that are all gung ho about timers telling people to put timers down and I was like, wait, what? And I'm like, I must not be trolling or looking around in the same damn groups that you are, because I haven't seen this yet, but I have heard a couple of those little whisperings now, and I think it's just like, I had to tell Steve, I was like, dude, maybe we're at that time of the cycle. Like maybe it's time we're going to go back the other way again. So you're going to see more combatives type things again. You're going to see more. I don't think you're going to necessarily see less performance-based training, but I think performance-based training on the surface is going to have to kind of reface itself a little bit to remain as relative, I guess, as it is now within the next couple of years. And you know what? That's okay. I mean, the way I look at it is people that jump into the market to get when the getting's good maybe don't have enough to offer when the things ain't as good, when the times ain't as good, And so I think the cyclic rates are just a way of kind of flushing the market out of the who's going to be, who has the staying power and who's just like the match head, they're the spark and then they're gone again.
Yep. I gotta say, as far as the timer era part of what you just said goes, it's amazing how much work got done.
Oh yeah.
Seems like every dude on Instagram all of a sudden is busting out some bill drills.
Sure.
Right. It seems like there's a lot of effort that's gotten put into things where people weren't putting metrics and weren't putting numbers to stuff. It's pretty cool. It's I don't know, man. I mean, there's nothing new under the sun, right? Like there's only so much you're going to show somebody. There's only so much new information. It feels to me kind of like there's always been a subset of the industry that's looking for the next like niche or gig or thing or fucking whiz bang awesomeness. The same part of me that resists 30 super carry resists that like, oh, this is the new hotness.
Right.
Like in anything, like whether it's training or anything else, that's the same part of me that resists that.
Sure.
So I don't know, man. I personally think that as long as you're providing value, and as long as people are no shit learning, like our little jokey text thread, right, that we put together where we were talking about the training groups, and I was like, bitch, please, them Green Mountains are still safe.
Yep.
I ain't got nothing to say. Like it still works.
Because it's a frozen wasteland, and no one worth their salt
but
is
you're
willing
exactly,
to go up there to tell like, fuck it, they can keep them.
You're exactly
damn
right.
cold.
It's like, and the thing is people are going to go after what's flashy no matter what, until they become so inundated with flashiness that flashy isn't flashy anymore.
Yep.
Right. And then it will revert back to something else. It'll revert back to, hey, look at these groups that I can shoot at 150 yards with a pistol, or, hey, look what I can do, with this timed run to this super high accuracy laden drill that isn't super flashy. And that will become the super flashy thing until people become, they become inundated with that again. And then once they burn out on that, then they'll go back the other direction again. Dan's right. It's an infinite game. It's something, it's cyclic, no matter what. It's never going to go away. And it's just, the people that find a way to throw their spin on it is great. And that's great until everybody just, they get overwhelmed by that, or not really overwhelmed. They're full, they're fulfilled in whatever that is. And then they're going to seek out what's next. The guys that have had the staying power are also the guys that have generally been the least flashy when it comes to training tips, adjusting their training to meet the needs of today, right? They're just, like you said, they're offering a great product that has stood the test of time, that doesn't necessarily meet the needs of whatever the niche market is right then and there. There's a reason that Dave Spalding was able to have a 30 plus fucking year career doing this stuff. There's a reason that, Tom Givens is 71 now, and he's still, one of the top rated trainers. There's a reason that Masad Ayub is still training and teaching. I mean, look at the staying power of those types of guys, and then look at who comes and goes in the last 5 years.
Yep.
I've seen a lot come and go. Like, oh, this guy's the next best thing. And then 2 years later, you're like, whatever happened to that guy? Well, there's your flash in the pan,
Yeah. I'd rather smolder for 20 years than be a matchstick, I guess.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's my hopes and plans.
Well, here's to another year of it, bro. You're going to smolder with me at least twice this year.
Hell yes, I am.
Hell yes. So, close yourself out here, man. It's getting pushing towards Santa time.
Yeah.
Also, for those playing the home game, if you're a guest in the private and you're using the private chat, you should probably just text me, because I don't know where that button is. Anyway,
that's why I'm here.
I love you, TJ. God damn it. Fucking Tim's over here like, yeah, dude, it's only the eve before Christmas Eve, and we're going to talk for 11 hours on a fucking podcast. I got it.
No, not at all, though. This is, I love coming on this podcast. I love hanging out with you guys. This is great.
I know. I just don't know how to use my own equipment. I didn't know it was my face that went up when I hit the I have to pee button. And I didn't know there was a fucking private chat until today. I was today years old when I learned there was a private chat. TJ, what have I missed? Fuck. What episode are we on? 126? You'd think I'd got my shit together by now. No? Nothing? Blank face. Thanks, TJ. Love you too.
I'm just gonna let it go.
So
you know what you did.
I know.
Dan, by the way, I saw Dan's question earlier. I will address your question via Facebook private message or something, either probably not tonight, but in the morning, if you don't mind.
There you go. I missed that one too. Yeah, not a good podcaster.
No, that's all right.
Listen to Matt Landfair. You guys should all just go pay attention to primary and secondary. They do a way better job. Fuck. Riley Bowman has a good podcast. It's fine. There's good podcasts out. We're the 4,728 millionth best podcast, or whatever I said the other day.
Yeah, which is fantastic.
Oh, that's a good number. So, besides GreenMountainDefense.com for two of them, where the fuck can these people find your classes, bro?
TimHerronShooting.com is my website. If you go to TimHerronShooting.com, I believe it's /schedule. That'll take you to my class schedule. Just about every single class that's on the schedule now has a registration link attached to it. So it makes registering for a class easy. If it doesn't, you can email me or just go to the contact me page or contact us page and shoot me a message about a class that you're interested in that may not have a registration link attached to it. And I will get you in touch with the class host, and look forward to hopefully seeing everybody at a class very soon.
So here, I'm going to put in a plug. I'll use my plug time to plug for Tim, and not in the way you would think. If you're sitting somewhere and you're wondering why he don't come around, it's time for you to host him, right? These guys make it real easy. We all do this, right? And we will break our ass for you to host us. I'll do everything I can to help. Tim will do everything he can to help.
100%.
Get classes hosted, right? If you're shaky and you're like, dude, I've never hosted a class before, I don't know what it is, Kent@greenmountaindefense.com. Email me up. I'll get on a phone call with you. I'll tell you what it's about. I will digitally help you host somebody if it's worth it because it's good training. And if you're close to me, I'll fucking help you host it. Like it's got to come down to at a certain point, hosting is what keeps this industry alive. This industry and the whole possibility of any of this stuff happening is because people are willing to put the effort in and come out and oh god damn it. God damn it. You know, here I am being a good dude, saying nice things, being encouraging, right? Fuck you. Far middle 25 up. That's it. Far middle 25 up. That's all you get from me from now. That's all I got for you people. No, but seriously, host somebody, right?
Definitely.
Like go if you're like, God damn it, so and so don't ever come to Cheese Dick, Oklahoma. I don't know, wherever you're at, and somebody don't come there. Time for you to do it. Set it up. I direct the training at a gun club, right? And I host training and I put on my own training. I could tell you from all three of the facets of like how you need to get a class put on, right? How to approach a gun club if you need to approach one. How to approach running your own training business if you kind of sort of need to do that. Or damn it, you know what? If you just want to host 2 or 3 people a year and that's what you want to do, great. God damn it, good on you. But you gotta get your own gumption going on this. Don't sit back and wait for other people to do it. I'll be honest. The one thing I love it, but I don't mean any disrespect at the same time. Stop emailing me and telling me who I should host. I got a list 10,000 people long. If you want to host them so bad, you host them, right? Like it's time for people to step up and put in the effort and bring out good quality training to wherever you are on planet Earth.
Yep.
I'm not.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring you out to Tennessee, asshole.
Exactly. Like, this is my point. Like all it takes is some effort on email and an effort on phone, and to do some pushing. And before you know it, you're standing on the range with the guy you saw on the podcast. So go get it done. It can easily happen. These folks are not unreachable. They're not difficult to deal with. Tim did not count the gray M&Ms when he came to my range. Like, it ain't like that. Whatever you think it's like, it's way, way, way more simple than that.
100%.
We need a safe range. We need some fucking targets to shoot at. There needs to be a Home Depot within 100 miles. So if you ain't got what you need, you can fucking build the shit. Like, it ain't hard. It really ain't hard. Like, it's a hard job. It's difficult to pull off from a stress perspective and from the perspective of giving the people what they deserve. But if you've got a flat piece of ground and a safe berm, good things can happen there. So go host him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my plug for that. So hit him up on his website, email him, say, I want to host you.
I appreciate that, man.
See what happens. Yeah, bro, of course. Absolutely. Now, TJ, you do your fucking read the things on the things and say the things and discount code such and such for whatever, please.
Absolutely. Tim, we are so glad that you were able to join us again. Brother, I know we have a lot of fun on this podcast. We always love when you come on. You know, we trade blows, we bust each other's chops, but Dave, I'm glad the show before Christmas, man, we couldn't have asked for a better guest. So thank you very much for giving us some of your valuable time.
Thanks
I wish you a very successful 2023. Looking forward to getting out to some of your classes myself. I mean, at the very least, we got to get together for a drink or some shit, man.
Yes.
I mean, all the guys at Apache now know that I'm a real person. So it's been verified that I am not a reincarnation of a much more attractive Max Headroom. But it is what it is. Folks, it is the Christmas season. I want to keep the ad read to a minimum. There is a person who we talk about on the show. He's been on the show before. We've got a shirt for him advertised here on the show, who is actually truly an inspiration to me personally, Cam Hayes. He made a post a while ago, not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, about, this is the season for maintaining those connections. Reach out to somebody that you haven't seen in a while, somebody you haven't spoken to in a while. Let them know that you're happy that they're here on this planet and that you love them. For guys like me and people of my ilk who have shared similar experiences, it means a lot. Honestly, there's a lot of us that cringe when we get the whole "thank you for your service" thing. Every now and then, we just want to know that we still matter. So if there's somebody in your life that you might even suspect falls into that category, reach out to them, wish them a Merry Christmas, tell them you love them, and all the good blessings, and try to keep those friendships in mind and keep them strong. Of course, if you're going to buy them presents, use our affiliate links. It helps the podcast. But in the meantime, right, Cam's shirt is still very much alive and well. Please feel free to go out there, purchase a shirt. Again, all those proceeds, when we collect the funds, will go directly to Cam. And, of course, if you want to just give to his GoFundMe, the link is in the description down below. From all of us here at the Sling'N podcast, I want to say God bless you all. Take care of each other, and Merry Christmas.
Love you guys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, guys.